On the go? So are we. Get the IBJ Media app, your all-in-one news source for Indiana business news. Get breaking news alerts, read every story from IBJ, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Lawyer, and listen to your favorite podcasts all in one place. Big news, small screen. Search IBJ Media and download the app today.
U.S. military might in full gear in the Middle East. How Indiana's $6.5 billion defense sector could be playing a pivotal role in operations. Plus, what's next for homeowners, buyers, and sellers now that interest rates have fallen? We look at the state of real estate in Indiana and a Fisher's Indiana award-winning film about his sister's addiction and death now reaching a much wider audience. And a palate pleaser based in Plymouth. We head north to learn about the largest boba producer in the United States. Inside Indiana Business is next.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and the Indiana Association of Realtors.
We need to be focused on innovating, making sure that our most elegant, sophisticated weapon systems outmatch those of any adversary. So Indiana's punching above its weight.
Well, Indiana Senator Todd Young on one of many ways Hoosier innovation playing a key role in the U.S. defense sector as the nation's military engages in war in the Middle East. Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. As developments unfold in Iran, we're taking a look in this week's show at Indiana's massive footprint in the military and defense sector, military installations, manufacturing, research, logistics, growth in hypersonics, microelectronics. It all adds up to some $6.5 billion going into the Indiana economy annually, supporting more than 60,000 jobs. NSA Crane in south central Indiana contributing more than half of that number. Crane, the third largest naval installation in the world. Adjacent to Crane in Bloomfield, the work is beginning on a Department of Defense funded munitions campus, expected to attract some $600 million in private investment and potentially thousands of jobs.
And committed hundreds of millions of dollars to what will be a nearly 500-acre munitions campus. Prometheus will be a leader in the production of solid rocket motors, which are vital for critical munitions that are increasingly in short supply. We desperately need to expand our munitions production if we're going to deter future conflict with China and our other adversaries around the world.
The capabilities developed here will directly enhance warfighter readiness, ensuring that they have a decisive advantage to deter and, if necessary, to defeat any adversary.
And Indiana's role in cutting-edge technology continues to grow. Indiana Senator Todd Young, a leader in Indiana's recently being designated as one of 9 U.S. drone test sites.
That is leading to all sorts of drone manufacturers contacting the state saying, hey, we're very interested in Indiana now because you can iteratively test different designs at this drone test bed, which will intersect with Camp Atterbury and that area. And we think a lot of Hoosiers will be gainfully employed in coming years building the latest, greatest drone. Indiana is best in class when it comes to biopharma. We're also best in class when it comes to ag bioscience. But one area that our country really needs for national security purposes, and we are exquisitely poised to offer, is bioindustrial expertise and biomanufacturing.
For more now on Indiana's role as a major driver in the defense sector, pleased to be joined by Applied Research Institute Executive VP of Public Affairs, Trevor Foudy. And Trevor, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Gary.
Hey, first of all, to tee things up, Applied Research Institute, you do a lot of really high-level things. Give us the thumbnail description of the organization.
Yeah, so on one hand, we work closely with the Department of War and with Crane to help find innovative commercial solutions and innovators that can meet the challenges they face. We also run several technical programs in areas that Senator Young just mentioned, like microelectronics, like biotech, and like the drone test site that the state just won.
Oh, as we were talking off camera, the war in the Middle East, a lot of very obvious connections right back to Indiana, right?
That's right. I mean, you can look at what's happened here in the opening week. F-35 has become the dominant jet that our military uses. A lot of those components made right here in Indianapolis by Rolls-Royce. What excites me more is when you look at the use of drones, which is not just a shift in paradigm and technology, but also a shift in how the department is acquiring new technologies, which I think could have a lot of benefit for Indiana.
Yeah, Todd Young is really high on this drone potential, especially the manufacturing piece that could hit home here in Indiana.
That's right. And as we worked with the state and Senator Young to develop that drone test site proposal, we tried to constantly remind ourselves the test site is a means, not an end. And ultimately, Indiana has a lot to offer as the military shifts back more to a World War II arsenal of democracy style strategy. There's a lot of growth here for Indiana.
When people think of technology and defense technology, they think of Silicon Valley. Should they start thinking more about Indiana?
Absolutely, right? When you look at some of the technologies that Crane is involved in, whether that's hypersonics, microelectronics, now drones, the Drone Dominance Program Office is based there at Crane. Just a lot of high-tech stuff coming out of the state and will be manufactured in the state.
We mentioned a lot of the assets, this new munitions campus. That's getting a lot of national attention, right? Putting it on Indiana. As we segue to universities and the importance of universities, Purdue, Notre Dame, I know IU's involved as well. How important is that university piece?
Yeah, that's where a lot of your fundamental discovery is going to come from when you look at things like the munitions campus and energetics and what it means for synthetic biology and maybe some technologies being worked on at IU or Purdue or Notre Dame. Yeah. Those initial discoveries are going to come out of that sector.
When you look at what's needed, what's missing, as you look at the big picture, as Indiana pursues more defense funding, and by all indications, there's going to be a lot more investment and spending in the defense sector, what's missing here in Indiana? What's needed?
Yeah, I think as you look at the state, we have some pockets of defense activity, right? You have things in Fort Wayne, centered around L3 Harris, some other companies. You've got a pocket around Crane. I think what we're moving towards is a more unified vision for the state, right? Governor Braun laid a lot of that out in his executive order for drone dominance. All the assets we have, how do we bring those together so that we can really help transition technology more quickly to the warfighter? Drone
developments will definitely be something we'll be keeping an eye on. Trevor Foudy with the Applied Research Institute, great perspective. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, thanks for having us.
All right. Well, as we mentioned earlier during our discussion with Trevor, IBJ Media is the media partner for the Midwest Defense Innovation Summit. It's April 8th and 9th at the Crowne Plaza at Union Station in downtown Indianapolis. There'll be a lot of people there really cued in and to this whole defense sector and what the potential is for Indiana. To register, go to ibj.com and click on events. Well, as the defense sector grows in south central Indiana, so does the need for housing. Greene County leaders currently evaluating properties based on location, infrastructure, and readiness.
Ever since we started working on this project and it became more of a reality that, hey, Greene County could win this, we were like, where are we going to put everyone? So housing has been a major focus because we definitely want to keep as many as we can here in Greene County, and just what it will do for the schools and amenities will just, it's hard to wrap my brain around.
Growth activity certainly in south central Indiana. Well, still ahead, more on the affordability of owning a home. What a cut in mortgage rates could mean for homeowners, buyers, and sellers. We take a deeper dive into the state of real estate in Indiana. That's when we come back.
Whether you're buying or selling a home, the stakes are high. Realtors are market experts who do business by a higher code of ethics, and we're invested in Indiana because we're also your neighbors. Now here's the latest statewide real estate report.
In 2025, the number of homes for sale across Indiana hit a 6-year high, with new listings jumping nearly 10% in the last 2 years. Homes also stayed on the market about 4 days longer than 2024, 2 weeks longer than back in 2021. Buyers have more options and more time to find the right home heading into 2026. But patience is paying off for home sellers as Indiana property values continue to climb. Indiana is still one of the most affordable states for home ownership. The mortgage payment on a typical recent home purchase equals about 34% of our median monthly household income.
To
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures.
Well, a big power shift in ownership at a utility with a major presence in central Indiana. AES, the parent company of AES Indiana, being purchased for more than $33 billion by a group of investors led by BlackRock subsidiary Global Infrastructure Partners. The deal means AES could go private as soon as this year. Right now, AES Indiana, one of the state's top 5 investor-owned electric utilities, serving more than 500,000 customers in Indianapolis and surrounding counties. There are 2 other underwriters in the deal outside of Global Infrastructure, California Public Employees Retirement System, and the Qatar Investment Authority. Well, paying the electric bill, not the only budget item to consider when owning a home. That mortgage is usually the biggest one, but there may be a little relief on the way. 30-year mortgage rates have dipped below 6% for the first time in more than 3 years. And for more on what all of this means for the Indiana housing market, pleased to be joined by Indiana Association of Realtors CEO Mark Fisher. Mark, always great to see you.
Great to be here.
Spring upon us here, home buying season really starting to kick in. What has this drop in mortgage rates, slow as it's been, meant for the market?
Yeah, sure. So after 2 years of declining sales, we finished 2025 very strong, even and even a little bit above the previous years. So we've seen some of that thawing as the rates have come down. We've seen more inventory added to the market, both new and existing homes. And so buyers have more choices as they head into the spring buying season.
Yeah. So inventory has been a big issue for a number of years, very tight. What you're saying is it's beginning to ease up a little bit.
Ease up, but that doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. We still have some very long-term inventory challenges, but right now we have more inventory on the market than we have since 2019. So buyers have more choices. We've seen some of that free up as the sellers that may have been sitting on some lower interest rate mortgages, kind of getting that pent-up demand and moving into the market. So we should see both buyers and sellers returning to the market this year.
When it comes to inventory of affordable housing, huge issue all over the state of Indiana. I know the legislature addressed that this session. Communities like Terre Haute trying to be aggressive in getting more of that affordable housing on the market. What do you see in that affordable housing?
Yeah, so we really have an acute shortage of the sub $250,000 mark. That's the starter home, the workforce housing. And so you've seen the legislature really take some big strides towards addressing affordability through the READY program, through Infrastructure Assistance Fund, and through House Bill 1001, really trying to loosen up some of those local regulations to induce more housing, bring more housing to the market. You see communities like Terre Haute or South Bend being very aggressive in infill housing, which should add to the housing stock, reinvent those communities, and really create thriving communities that we all want to live in.
As you look at cities, communities around the state, kind of some of the hot communities when it comes to housing, what are you seeing?
Certainly the northern Indianapolis suburbs, Boone County, Hamilton County, a lot of building going on, a lot of booming housing market. From a price perspective, Evansville and northern Indiana, so South Bend, the northern western Indiana from a housing perspective, but really hot markets, Fort Wayne and Jeffersonville, New Albany area.
Yeah, and price, I don't know if you mentioned that, but price growth, Evansville, pretty hot, right?
Yeah, both of them are moving pretty far up. You know, it's more stable than maybe those double-digit increases we saw during the pandemic, more towards the 3 to 5% normal range of growth. So hopefully that'll bring buyers off the sidelines and into the market.
Look in the crystal ball, 2026, as you look forward, this is going to be a good year?
It'll be a good year. It's always a good year to buy a house.
All right. Mark Fisher, Indiana Association of Realtors, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, business headlines making news around Indiana. And an Indiana company making headway in the fight to deliver a cure for type 1 diabetes, and how it all starts under the skin. Details in this week's Business of Health.
Serving Indiana means being ready for growing energy demands. At Duke Energy, we're adding more power to the grid and working on hundreds of local projects to make your energy more reliable. We've strengthened nearly 20,000 poles, updated more than 270 substations, and prevented hundreds of thousands of outage hours with self-healing grid technology, so your power can come back on faster than ever. That's the smarter energy future Indiana deserves. The challenges are real.
Type 2 diabetes rising
Small
fast.
businesses need help.
Alzheimer's cases rising as population.
Solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Richards, get in the game. We're getting pickled here. And they're crushing our loan business, too.
But this Lake City Bank team seems nice. They offer small business loans from your phone.
We have that, too.
You can even speak to a real live banker.
You guys good? No one needs to talk to a person anymore.
I like people.
Nice game. Come by the branch anytime.
They have branches?
Friendly business loans. Apply online with SwiftLend or visit real human bankers at your local branch.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader. We begin this week's Around Indiana segment in Northwest Indiana, where Microsoft's plan to build a data center in the city of LaPorte is moving forward. The city approving an updated tax deal with Microsoft. The tech company will no longer seek tax abatements or breaks to build a new $1 billion data center campus in LaPorte. It will include a 15% of the tax revenue in the deal will go to LaPorte Community School Corporation, a unique deal for some 20 years. The investment expected to create up to 200 jobs, with groundbreaking on that data center sometime this spring. Well, nearly 400 Hoosiers are losing their jobs in Jasper and Logansport. Michigan-based First Brands Group, which is the parent company of Jasper Rubber and a Logansport facility, is going through Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. The facilities will close April 30th. A subsidiary of a South Korea-based company has selected Northeast Indiana as the site for its first U.S.-based manufacturing facility. Hanyang America is expected to bring 300 jobs to the city of Huntington. The company plans to manufacture energy storage system components for customers, including Stellantis. Another major expansion coming at Netherlands-based Newcold in Boone County. The refrigerated logistics provider planning to invest more than $500 million to build a new facility at the Lebanon Business Park.
I'm extremely proud and honored to do business and to be a partner of the 3 food giant companies in America.
A rewind to when Newcold celebrated the grand opening of its first facility in Lebanon about 2.5 years ago. The latest expansion is the company's third in Boone County and is expected to create 200 jobs, bringing its total investment to the area to about $800 million. As work continues on a massive bridge project in southwest Indiana, initial tolling rates to cross that bridge are being formulated. The long talked about I-69 Ohio River Crossing project will connect Evansville and Henderson, Kentucky. If current projections hold, standard passenger vehicles will pay between $3 and $6, depending on payment method. Tolling is expected to begin once the bridge is complete and fully operational January 1, 2032. Well, in Fort Wayne, city leaders are getting closer to starting master planning efforts for the North River District. The Capital Improvement Board there approving $1.5 million for the planning effort. The city has not provided an estimated timeline for the plan's completion. Well, Ball State University is sharing plans for the latest component of the multi-million-dollar Village Revitalization Plan. Village Green is a gathering space that aims to connect the campus to the Muncie community. Construction on the $5.4 million project expected to start in the spring of next year. Well, an implantable insulin pump, Lilly's weight loss drug, and an update on a Made in Indiana film exploring the pain of losing a loved one to addiction. All on the docket in this week's Business of Health with Kylie Valletta. Kylie.
Well, thank you very much, Gary. The FDA has awarded Westfield-based Portal Diabetes Breakthrough Device designation for what the startup says is a functional cure for type 1 diabetes. The move speeds the development of its device called Portal Pump. The insulin pump would be implanted in the lower abdomen and act as an artificial pancreas, monitoring blood sugar and automatically delivering insulin, which could be refilled weeks or months apart through a port. The fully automated system is designed to relieve patients of the constant management of their blood sugar. The company moved to Indiana from California in 2024 and expects to begin clinical trials next year. Another advancement in patient convenience, Indianapolis-based Eli Lilly is now unveiling its Zepbound Quick Pen. The new pen consolidates a full month of treatment into one device. Previously, the weight loss drug only came in 4 separate vials with syringes or 4 separate pens. Lilly says Zepbound, which currently only comes in injection form, was the most prescribed weight management drug in 2025. And now an update on a powerful short film that was shot in Fishers, created by a native Hoosier, and tells an Indiana story. A Fishers native, Vince Dixon, came home from LA to make the short film called Sometimes I Imagine Your Funeral. After an award-winning festival run, he's now released the film on YouTube. It tells the story of Dixon and his sister, who both grew up in Fishers. An overdose ultimately took his sister's life, and Dixon hopes the YouTube release will expand the film's impact, especially for students.
The significance of putting the film on YouTube now is that anyone can watch the film across the country, because we get a lot of people asking us, like, can we show the film to our organization? Can we show the film to our classroom? And so now putting it online on YouTube for free means that the barrier to entry to watch it is 0. So if any teacher wants to watch it in any high school, wherever they are, they can.
Stop. I'm not normal. It's okay.
I found that by showing my film, Sometimes I Imagine Your Funeral, to students, you see those kids in the classroom in the corner that usually they have their AirPods in, they're on their phone, or they're sleeping. Those are the kids that oftentimes are leaning in, because this elevated storytelling really engages with people.
Dixon is now working on an educational video series inspired by the short film, and he's looking for business partners or foundations to help support it. The classroom videos will have the same characters and cinematic quality to teach teens about addiction and mental health, and he's targeting Indiana schools first.
You talk about the partnership with schools.
Right.
What's that all about? It sounds exciting.
So he's gonna come home this summer, back to Fishers again to shoot it. Hopefully that's his plan. And this is going to be beautiful educational videos, like the film we just saw clips from. This is not what kids are used to seeing in school when they talk about mental health. And he really wants to lean into that high school age. That was a really critical time for his sister. He's already spoken and presented his film at Fishers High School, where he attended and his sister attended, also at Noblesville High School. This is such a passion project for him. This is not about money. He really wants to make this video series as cheap and free if he can get a sponsorship. He just wants to widen its impact.
Great stuff. Thanks, Kylie.
Yep.
Well, when we come back, the Indiana connection to those chewy little pearls found in many drinks. How Zentis in Plymouth is growing to become the largest boba producer in the United States, what it means for the company and the region.
Whether you're buying or selling a home, the stakes are high. Realtors are market experts who do business by a higher code of ethics, and we're invested in Indiana because we're also your neighbors. Now here's the latest statewide real estate report.
In 2025, the number of homes for sale across Indiana hit a 6-year high, with new listings jumping nearly 10% in the last 2 years. Homes also stayed on the market about 4 days longer than 2024, 2 weeks longer than back in 2021. Buyers have more options and more time to find the right home heading into 2026. But patience is paying off for home sellers as Indiana property values continue to climb. Indiana is still one of the most affordable states for home ownership. The mortgage payment on a typical recent home purchase equals about 34% of our median monthly household income.
Serving Indiana means being ready for growing energy demands. At Duke Energy, we're adding more power to the grid and working on hundreds of local projects to make your energy more reliable. We've strengthened nearly 20,000 poles, updated more than 270 substations, and prevented hundreds of thousands of outage hours with self-healing grid technology, so your power can come back on faster than ever. That's the smarter energy future Indiana deserves.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures.
We are bringing the power of this to this with a new IBJ Media app. For the first time ever, you'll be able to get the Indiana Lawyer, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indianapolis Business Journal all in one place wherever you go. All across the state of Indiana, IBJ Media provides the news you need to know, and we're doing it now directly to your phone. To be a part of this, you can find it on your favorite app store. Just search IBJ Media.
Well, new ownership in store for this longtime Indiana company, a longtime egg producer, Warsaw-based Creighton Brothers, a family-owned institution. It's being acquired by Mississippi-based Cal-Maine Foods, the largest egg company in the U.S. It's a deal valued at $128.5 million. Family-owned Creighton Brothers last year marked 100 years in business and has the capacity to produce about 1 billion eggs per year. Well, a palate pleaser produced in Plymouth, Indiana, Zentis North America, marking its 20th year of production in Marshall County, and prides itself as being the largest boba manufacturer in the United States. For 2 decades, fruit processor Zentis has invested in Marshall County and grown its business here.
If you and I go into the supermarket and buy any kind of yogurt product off the shelf, like spoonable, drinkable, it's very likely that you had Zentis product before, be it like the strawberry or the blueberry. And we serve really all brands and private labels across the U.S.
More than 350 employees make premium fruit for the dairy industry, produce caramel, and work on a custom-built production line for popping boba balls, a product that's normally imported. The company tells us customer demand led to the decision to add the boba production line, which was a $20 million investment.
It's a complete custom line. It's made by our own engineers. It's not a bought kind of production line. So being able to do that here in the U.S. and specifically in Indiana is really meaningful to us, and I think has enabled a couple more opportunities for folks in Northern Indiana to work with us and for us.
Zentis is now the largest producer of premium popping boba in the country. Plymouth is home to one of 2 U.S. facilities for the company, which is headquartered in Germany.
It's a huge benefit to say, hey, we are not just making boba, we're making it here, we're making it in the region. It's closer supply chain, so it's also good from a sustainability aspect. You don't have to ship it around half the world, but it's also easier to react to your customers and partners when they want a new flavor or something like that, or they need extra shipments.
Zentis tells us supplying the dairy industry remains the biggest part of its business, but it's working on diversifying and serving as a major supplier to the food and beverage industry.
Zentis North America was able to grow beyond what we just came over to kind of copy and do here. We added new things that we weren't able to do before, and Plymouth supported us in being able to do that.
The boba capital in Indiana. Who knew? Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. Go out and make it a successful week.
Challenges are real.
Type 2 diabetes rising
Small
fast.
businesses need help. Alzheimer's cases rising as population. Solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Richards, get in the game. We're getting pickled here. And they're crushing our loan business, too.
But this Lake City Bank team seems nice. They offer small business loans from your phone.
We have that, too.
You can even speak to a real live banker.
You guys good? No one needs to talk to a person anymore.
I like people.
Nice game. Come by the branch anytime.
They have branches?
Friendly business loans. Apply online with SwiftLend or visit Real Human Bankers at your local branch.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader.
Curious about what's shaping law in Indiana? From court reforms and NIL rights to mental health courts and energy commissions, the Indiana Lawyer Podcast breaks down the biggest legal issues of our time. I'm your host, reporter Maura Johnson. Join me every other week for your insider guide to what matters in law and why it impacts you. Subscribe now in your favorite podcast app or at ibjpodcasts.com.
Do you want to know what really drives change in Indiana? You won't find it in sound bites, you'll find it in stories. Stories from CEOs, lawyers, coaches, entrepreneurs, and community advocates. That's the IBJ Media Podcast Network. Insightful, local, impactful. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcast.com.